5 years later, what are we doing these days? We retired, we're hanging out, we're fishing?
I'm trying to get out of trucking, and it just keeps pulling me back in.
It's addictive, isn't it?
It is. Not last night, a couple nights ago when we pulled in over in Ohio, what was the name of that town over Lone Elm or Lone Grove or something like that. Anyway, we pulled in there, and the crowds. We'd been seeing a lot of crowds at bridges and stuff, but when we pulled in there, it was just wall to wall people on the off ramp, people walking up, and I was kind of overwhelmed with the whole thing. 35 years of being a second-class citizen truck driver, because that's how we feel sometimes. We go into these warehouses and these guys, deliver your stuff, now get the hell out, and, can't park on our lot. So you leave and you go down to the local grocery store or big box store or someplace. Oh, you can't park here, you can't park. Nobody wants us around. They want us to bring the stuff in, but then as soon as we've accomplished, what they want, get the heck away, go, So here it is out of 35 years and finally feeling appreciated. You do not know the feeling that gives a guy. It just, veterans coming back from war, things like that. I understand. I never went to where I was in the Army, but I never went to where I served peacetime. But I think I have a good feeling of what that's like now.
Beautiful.
It is. I can't think. I haven't cried in 30 years.
Like a baby?
Well, welled up. I wasn't bawling, but I was just like.
What's going on, mother truckers? Welcome to the Asia My Show. Today we have a very important person that's very important. Yes, stop smiling, because it is very true. And for the last week, the world has been watching you, sir. And when media would not show any of this, you are showing the world about how peaceful, how strong, and just what truck drivers really want is, and just fight for what they believe in. So please introduce yourself.
My name's Stan, and I go by Sasnak, and I got that name because I was born in Kansas, and I just took Kansas and flipped it around, so it's made Sasnak.
Is that what that is?
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah. A lot of people think that's my last name, so I'm okay. Yeah, Stan Sasnak. Yes, all this stuff is people handing me, little stuff like this. Little kids come out and draw pictures. There's another one that actually drew my truck. There it is right there. Some little kid took the time to do that.
Tell me this real quick, brother. Why you follow this man?
Why am I following that man? Because he's fighting for our individual liberty.
How long have we been trucking, sir?
35 years. Started in 87. April 1st, 1987. April Fool's Day. Isn't that
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's fitting. It's fitting.
If we were to sum up trucking for you in 35 years in a few words, what would trucking mean to you?
It's been a good career. I've made a good living at it. I'm not rich by any means. I'm not like one of those lawyers or something that made millions of dollars, but it's been a good, honest living. Just good, honest living. So it's like you go to work, and your office, the window outside of your office changes every second, every minute. And you get to see the country. That's what I really liked about this job, was you can travel around the country and see things instead of just sitting in a cubicle somewhere. You don't have that boss sitting right over your back, watching every move you make. Truck drivers are very independent, and I think you'll see that in the coming days. They're very independent, and they don't like to be pushed around and shoved around.
With that 35-year experience, for a new guy or gal, what's one thing you wish you would have known jumping in the biz that would have at least kept you successful?
The first 15 years of my trucking, I would have saved more money. I wouldn't have blown it like I everybody makes life choices, you know, and some you look back and go, I should have done this, should have done. Everybody has those regrets. I have my regrets, but they also have my things that I'm, the opposite of regret would be things that I'm proud of, you know, things that I'm happy I did.
What's the biggest one in trucking
Biggest one in trucking?
that you're proud of that you've done in 35 years?
I didn't set Oklahoma on fire.
Now, since you've been showing all of America and the world about what's going on with the People's Convoy, you know people want to see inside this truck. Tell us the specs of this first off before we start this.
All right, it's an '04 Peterbilt. I bought it a little over a year ago. The story, I had another one just like it, was burgundy, and anyway, it got wrecked. It's a long, stupid story, but anyway, so I went and bought this one here October of 20, and been running it for a little over a year now. And it's an '04 Peterbilt. It's got it's a 379 model, extended hood. It's got an aftermarket or a custom bunk. Think of a conversion van. Remember you had like a Ford van and they had the conversion vans? That's kind of what this is. It's conversion simple. When I'm not around, people come up and they say, well, I was there and everything, man, we just wanted to get a sticker, but you weren't there. And I just fit these, there's one left. I had 20 or so of them along here. So just something so people, if they do miss meeting me or whatever, they get to get a souvenir of some type. Okay, let's go in the back door, it's a little open, more open. And it's a little messy because it's been hectic, but it's not dirty, it's just cluttered. So get all the lights on. There we go. Got pretty much. Is your lighting good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. This is it. Got a full kitchen here, and like I said, people are just gift baggies of just snacks. I mean, it's just everybody comes walking up and they hand you something. I just consolidated in that one bag, but yeah, all this stuff is people handing me, little stuff like this. Little kids come out and draw pictures. There's another one that actually drew my truck. There it is right there. Some little kid took the time to do that.
What does that mean to you, brother?
Yeah, if like a like a 4-year-old or something, it's just, but anyway, that's what's, amazing about this. But full refrigerator, freezer, like this. Microwave, convection oven. This is all cabinetry up here with stuff stored in here, socks and underwear, shorts and whatever up there. I got closets in the back, but this dinette, step all the way back, and you'll see this dinette. You take these cushions off, and there's a latch over there, and this whole thing folds down. And the bed just scissors down, folds down. Use the bed when you get it in the morning. Fold it all back up and it's out of the way, and I have a dinette to sit in, and I do a little editing right here and whatnot, eating dinner and I cook. I've got luxury compared to some of these guys. They're living in cabovers and small single bunk trucks, and I'm out here. I got a shower. There's a shower. It's what's called a wet shower.
Yeah.
I've got junk stored in there. Otherwise, I'd show it to you. But yeah, it's just kitchen. It's just like at home. Your kitchen drawers. Here's my pots and pans and stuff. Here's my coffee mop. I haven't put any of this stuff away because it's just been so hectic. Usually, it's a much cleaner, much more.
You didn't know I was coming today, huh?
No, well, no, no, I didn't. But anyway, so I keep apologizing for that. But anyway, pantry for your food and stuff. Here, let's. You want to see the dash of this?
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's the dash of this thing. If you need much more light, but I took the passenger seat out and put this desk in. It's so much more convenient. I've got my laptop here, and people on my channel ask, "Oh, you're watching TV when you're going down the road." No, I've got a map. It's just like your GPS up here, but it's a better map. I like it, and it's on a computer program, so I use that instead of a GPS. And then phone sits right here. Got cabinet to store things in, and then here's the dash of this thing. We got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 gauges. 22 gauges, and You probably don't have time to go through all of them, but they're just all kinds. You're obviously your speedometer and tach, but then you have all these other things. Like I got dual fuel tanks, fuel gauges. I got a gauge for each tank. Most trucks don't have that; just have one tank or a gauge anyway. It's just a luxury thing. This truck was built out for high quality luxury and stuff. Oil transmission oil temp. Front and rear driver temperatures, the oil that's in the rear drivers. Fuel filter shows you how clogged your fuel filter is getting, air filter, all these kind of things. Outside, inside, outside air temperature, which was rare back in 04. Most trucks didn't have that. Most of them have it now. Most cars have it now. But back in 04, that was kind of a luxury. You got all these switches. The previous owners, they had, I think they did some heavy haul or something with it. They got all kinds of like load lights and all these different switches for the extra lights that used to be on this truck. And it's just, your CB and your stereo, it's a satellite radio, XM, Sirius XM radio. And so I'm out. Any questions?
This is like MTV Cribs Trucking Edition.
Yeah.
In the last week, the world has been watching you, and I've been watching you way before that, actually.
Yeah. Okay, good.
And
Thanks.
so it's just one of those things where, what I loved about your channel is that you just don't show trucking, you show a truck driver that actually has a life and what they do. And trucking is a part of that life, but also, hey, if you like to RV, if you like to fish, if you like to go and do something fun,
farming.
I've
got a really good friend of mine that is a farmer out in western Kansas, somewhere close to 10,000 acre farm, and I go up there and help him at harvest time. During the year he has a couple people working for him all year long, but in the fall in harvest he needs a lot more help. So I go up there and help him. He's just a super really good friend of mine, and he's nice enough to sit there and explain things like how farming works. People don't know. People think a farmer just goes out and puts a hole in the ground, puts a seed in, and covers it up, and comes back 8 months later and harvest it. And there's
ain't
so
that far
much,
from the truth.
there's so much more to it than that. And I get in there and ask him stupid questions that I think other people would ask. Well, why does it do that? And he goes, oh, well, right here, and he shows why or how things work. And I do that for a month or two, a month and a half every year, just however long he needs me. And I take everybody along and show them that kind of stuff. Show them that it's not just laser focused on trucking. It's based. My channel is more about what I see, not about me, but what I see day to day. Here's what I'm doing today. Isn't this neat? One of the other things I like to do is I'm driving down the road. A good example. You trucked out in Utah any at all? When you leave Salt Lake City, you go down to Provo. When you get to Provo, there's Highway 6 that goes down to Green River. I'm driving across there one day, and I've been across there 100 times. And I see the sign up on top of the summit. There's a convenience store and stuff up there, and it's called Soldier Summit. Never gave it a thought, okay? And one day I'm driving along, and I got to thinking about that. I wonder why they call it Soldier Summit. I mean, each town seems... I've learned that towns have histories, obviously. There's no town here. Oh, the convoy's coming in. We need to run over and catch them. But yeah, I couldn't figure out why they called it Soldier Summit. So I did a little research and kind of find out a bunch of Union soldiers that had defected during the Civil War and were heading back to the South. They left a camp out in Utah, somewhere out there by Salt Lake City. I can't remember the name of it. But they came up there in June or July. It was summertime. And they got caught in a blizzard in the middle of summer. Oddball. Just one of those freak storms. And they weren't prepared for it, and most of them died. So they called that the Soldier Summit. And there's a story there. So I tell just little stories like that. People go, I didn't know that. I've been driving across there 1,000 times just like you, and I had no idea that history. Every little town like that, and not the big cities. Everybody knows about San Francisco. Everybody knows about New York. Does anybody know about, Podunk, Arkansas? You know what I'm saying? These little bitty towns, and they all have little stories. So I do things like that in my channel, and I just use the truck to get from point A to point B and find those stories.
So, mother truckers, make sure you follow this man. And their horns honking for a good reason. Another convoy just came, right?
Let's get to going.
Let's go.
Ciao.
I appreciate you.
Take care, guys.
Yes, sir.